Listen, I was just thinking here. I was having a thought. When I grew up, there was a lot of people who saw it through a different mechanism, right? There's a separate presence that I think when you're beside that kind of like place where you like look through it, right? There's like a different lens where really like you start to wonder if it makes any sense where you're looking. And sometimes I see through those eyes of like that bird, and he's got a certain perception that he lends to me that makes me have a lot more, not just intelligence, but I think intellectual width than your average person. I was graced with something that really pushes me above everything that I've seen anyone else experience, and for that reason, I think a lot of the time they try to put those patterns in there, and they try to trick me because it's kind of dangerous for someone, right? That's kind of dangerous. And so what I'm looking for is sort of like these proverbial ladders, right? Like the places where you can get up, because really what we're running from, or what I'm running from, is that space where there are people there who can say do this and that, and they can move around sort of the parts, but they're not really trying to help you understand where to get at those places, right? And so when you start to look around and you look in your circle and you see those people who don't have the best interest in mind, and they don't really know how to work within the terms of the greater good, really those people don't have that perception, and they don't really have access to the bird. And I think I'm really the only person who does. We've named her Sally, and I think a lot of people are going to imagine her, but they're not going to be able to see her. She's got a lot of translucent parts about her. It's not really something that you should be running away from as much as you should embrace that there's going to be a lot of turmoil within who you claim to be until the day that you die. And I think that's how it goes, is you suffer, and the more you suffer, that kind of compounds upon itself, and you lose yourself in the suffering, and then at the end of it all you die, and there's really nothing left except kind of the crushed remains of where it came from, like those parts of your soul, and you pour them in your cereal. And you pour them in your cereal, and you eat them up like chocolate chips in your cereal, or like when you put sugar in Rice Krispies. And I'm not the only guy who does that. And really, when I start to put mustard in my Cheerios too, I start to wonder if that comes from an emphatic group of like phonological individuals. And really, where that comes from is me picking up some people one time in an office that felt as though there were a lot of really primal people who wanted something from me. And I really started to pick at that, and I think underneath all that skin there's a lot of flesh, and underneath that flesh there's something that you can really press on that creates a lot of meaning. And again, that's through suffering. So through that pain you start to grow, and you start to look at yourself and realize like there's a lot of death in my wake that I've caused by pouring sugar into my Rice Krispie treats. And really, that's just something you shouldn't do anyway. And when I grew up, I remember I got yelled at because I put a tea bag in my milk when I was making cereal, because really I just wanted some tea milk for my cereal. And that was good. Until one day, Beelzebub, the follower of the Bloodstone, came along and he ate my heart or whatever. But of course, that's what happens when you start to pick up those sort of cultural norms that exist within not just, the patriarchy, but I think within the context of battleships, and where that stems from, and like sort of like the American culture surrounding gun usage and gun rights, free speech, Someone like Elon Musk, he said to me one time, "I stinky," and it really, I think, connected, the puzzle piece, because I'm like, that's why his name is Elon, and I really started to wonder where I could put my hand where it wouldn't burn. Again, underneath this flesh is skin, and upon my flesh lies bare a lot of really evil impressments that are sort of act as like ornaments to the whole thing. And so at the end of the day, when I hand shook Elon Musk, I stood up to 17 separate steps, and this is going to be a 10-step process to get you back in line for having a jar of water in your suitcase, if that makes any sense. So what we're gonna do here today is we're gonna ask, what did the brother of truth do when he felt that there was nothing left within the watermill that he created? And that's really kind of something that I think you need to work into yourself and recognize. I'd be eating the plitter platter blankets in the toilet at Cookout and the gas station Wendy's that lives across my house, right? And whenever I go to the gas station Wendy's house, I recognize that there's a lot of batteries in the drawers there, and I don't really condone stealing, but I do like to steal the dog from time to time, and we cook it up. And they did that in an episode of Seinfeld, and I think that's really where I got the idea was maybe we should wait in a china shop, and then when we invite the bull there, then there's nothing left for us to crap because the bull did it. And when I start looking through the sort of individualized harem, so to speak, that takes place within the public eye, underneath, the eyes of Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, I kind of see those milked flags, and I think that's dangerous. I don't think enough people talk about that. There's a lot of danger to be had from just eating the milked flag, and I think Balrog of the Destroyer clan met someone who once fell upon such thoughts. So what I'm going to say is, at the end of the day, Charlie Chaplin ate 17 heads on a separate Saturday that existed last night, and I won't have any more of it. Motherfucker.